ready for playing Button Smash.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Button Smash.
Hey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Smashing buttons. Button smashing. You're welcome.
Yeah. The only video game podcast that puts everything into dark mode. Yeah. If you use light mode for anything, you're a psychopath. Like, absolute psycho. Why do you want any screen you're looking at, like your monitor, your phone, just burning out your retinas and your corneas? It's weird. Dark mode everything. On tonight's episode, we'll be talking about everything that's been happening throughout the week and all the recent events in gaming. Oh, yeah. But before we start any of that, let's see who we've got joining us today. We've got Jaysmac.
Whoa, I'm first? What?
Yeah. How's it feel now?
Oh, that was disorienting.
You squandered his
Okay.
opportunity?
Oh my God, next.
Speaking of next, we have Doc Chris.
I'm the proud owner of not a PS5.
Yikes. You and millions of others in America. Speaking of America, we've got TV's Casey.
I spent all day on all the websites putting in all my information, and what do I have to show for it? Nothing.
Zip Zero Bupkis. You get nothing, sir. You
And
lose.
this is where I'd put a PS5 if I had one.
Dinkelberg. Speaking of Dinkelberg, you know him, you love him. We got the booster Greg.
Why am I Dinkelberg? If anyone, it's Casey.
I don't know how to
Casey's
transition.
Dinkelberg.
That was the last thing.
God damn. Yeah. All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Dinkelberg, apparently. I have everything that you want and more.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's why. There we go. Go with that. And I'm your host, Back in the Funky Sergio, everybody. So, latest stuff has been happening in the world of video games, and some of the biggest things that have been happening are the launches of the two biggest titans in the gaming industry. We talked about Xbox and PS5. But first up, let's talk about Microsoft Xbox launching their brand new console and some viral videos that have been happening because of it. Chris, do you want to go into it?
Yeah. So Xbox launched on Tuesday. It's the usual fanfare of things running out real quick, but I feel like a good amount of people were able to get them, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
However, these videos have been surfacing online of smoke coming out of the top of it, and people are like, "What is going on?" So it seems to be fairly debunked that people decided that they're gonna blow their vape smoke into the bottom of the Series X. What happens is when you shut it down, the fans are still running for a few seconds afterwards. So you blow smoke into the bottom of it, and it will blow out the top. So to the point where Xbox had to actually basically tweet a debunk video and say, "I can't believe we have to say this, but please do not blow vape smoke into your Xbox Series X."
It reminds me of the time that Nintendo put out the little message that was like, "Please don't put the game do not taste the game cartridges."
Oh, yeah.
Don't put it in your mouth, but do not taste it.
Oh, yeah.
And
Was
people,
that for the Nintendo Switch? Because there was some rumor that they had a flavor to them or some kind of like.
They do.
I don't even
They
know.
do.
Is that like a Tide Pod thing?
So
That's
so
the secret food group. That and chapstick.
It was something so like you wouldn't eat it or kids wouldn't eat it, so they put like some.
Yeah. So they
anti-taste
made
in
it like really sour or something. I might. No, I'm not.
they put
I
the
won't,
same.
but-
Well, Greg, you're a dog owner, so you know this. They put the same bitter spray that you like put, on stuff you don't want your dog to chew on.
Yeah, bitter apple. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's that same thing.
Is that like sour apple?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, why don't you go try it?
That might.
I love sour apple.
Sure.
Sour Patch
Apple.
Kids. All right,
Yeah.
get behind that.
Delicious.
Yeah,
I don't need Breath of the Wild. I'll just swallow that.
That stuff's really funny because if you have a dog who has like trouble just like chewing on things, generally the dog that chews on things likes the taste of bitter apple is what in my experience.
Oh, really? So it doesn't matter?
Yeah, I really feel
matter
like the
because
dogs
you just
don't
wasted
give a
fun.
heck.
Yeah.
The dog's just
Some
like, dude,
do.
I don't care. Like, whatever.
The dog's
So the
like, I'm
question
going to
is-
taste that.
What's
No.
the taste equivalent to people vaping and blowing their smoke into the friggin' Series X? I think it's probably the water vapor frying the board, and then it no longer functions, and it is not covered under warranty. So
Imagine working in Microsoft R&D and being like, okay, we need to come up with and I can't believe I'm saying this, a vape deterrent for our console. It was something we never got to in testing, but boy, look at us now.
And what's so funny is that like that tweet, Chris, you were talking about where they said, I can't believe we have to say this, but don't vape into your new Xbox. It might not work as intended. It's so funny because, after that, some kid was like, I'm trying this. I'm 100% going to try it
Right.
Well,
right
here's
now.
the thing too. This is expected behavior from an Xbox owner, right? Like I feel like somebody who's who's got the care and everything like that of buying a PlayStation 5 is not going to like screw around in that manner. So, I mean,
It's
I'm
true.
not shocked, you know. I'm not surprised really.
Confirmed. Xbox gamers are just a different breed.
Yeah.
That's what.
You know, after you dump your Monster Energy all over it and then finish, punching holes in your drywall, you're going to go blow your vape underneath the Xbox.
Yeah, the
This
kind
is
of
almost like a
person.
successful
Kyle's.
ad. It's like Xbox for gamers that are built different.
And don't vape into Xboxes.
Yeah.
That's the moral. Don't. If you have a thing that's a food group or is I don't even know what you would consider vape, a food group, then don't put it in technology.
Amazing.
That is only for bug snacks.
But how are you going to save to the cloud if you don't have any smoke in your Xbox?
That's true. That's how you know it's in the cloud.
That's the cloud upload. That's how you actually see it. It's going up into the cloud.
As you can see.
Oh man, I love all the memes. And speaking of which, the PS5 also launched, the PlayStation 5 on the Sony end. And oh man, is everyone vying to get their hands on this beast? Like every single retailer in America has been sold out. And even when they tell you that they're going to restock, like Walmart at some time today was like, all right, we're restocking at this time, and this time. Try again. The site's like down before anybody can get it. People are trying to get it in person. There's price gouging like crazy, like even crazier than when COVID hit and people were buying up paper towels and hand sanitizer and shit and reselling them on Amazon for an absorbent amount of money. It's crazy what's happening right now with PS5. There just isn't enough demand, also because of COVID, because you can't really make production if you don't. There's no one to be in the factory. So what's been everyone's kind of experience?
I just
want to
get this out of the way. I've been following on Twitter. There's the glorious man Wario64.
Oh, God bless him.
A godsend, because that dude always has his finger on the pulse of everything that's going on. And you know me, I might not have a pulse. So
or a finger to put on a pulse.
Or I got just nubs. It's just nubs and no heart right here. But I've been following him all day and Cheap Ass Gamer, and they've been posting up links, and getting people ready and prepped. And I'm looking at one of these threads, and one of these motherfuckers writes a comment, "Thanks, bro. Can't believe I got my second PS4." And somebody underneath him is like, "What are you gonna do with the second one?" And he's like,
PS5.
"Oh, sorry, PS5." And he goes, "What are you gonna do with the second one?" He goes, "I'm gonna resell it." And the ratio on that tweet,
Oh my God, it must have been insane.
That's number one under how to get the internet mad at you is buy something needlessly to turn it
You don't
around.
feel like that was
for
a troll or something?
I don't
Like,
know. Well, I mean, he posted like a screenshot of his confirmation, which I mean also doesn't fucking mean anything. But I was like seething. I'm like I bet like the only thing that could have been worse is like if this guy was like, "Oh, yeah, I just bought it to play FIFA and then I'm gonna give it to my cousin or whatever."
There's nothing wrong with FIFA. Get out of here.
To buy a console for one game.
Yeah, I mean, people do it all the time. They buy consoles for just one game.
It's
I'm
better
buying
than
a console
buying.
for Final Fantasy 16.
It's better than buying a whole one for like Fortnite, a free to play game that you can
True.
literally
Yeah.
play
The
anything.
problem is they're preventing me from getting one. They're one more obstacle.
The real issue. That's really
The
what it
universe
is.
doesn't want me to jump ship from being a Nintendo fanboy. That's what it is.
Casey turns around his
you don't
Animal
wanna jump
Crossing
ship.
skills and starts just after he gets his own PS5,
Yeah,
just
wait a
starts
s-
making deals online to sell PS5s.
Casey, take the energy that you have.
How many
right?
Nook Miles tickets can I buy?
Like, take the energy that you have in completing your catalog and just find the PlayStation for a reasonable price.
I almost signed up for a Costco card just to get it.
I don't have them. I have a Costco card. You can borrow it.
Probably one of the funniest messages. It's just like Casey's like, "What's it?" All of a sudden, radio silence for like 5 minutes, and just
Does
in all
anyone
caps,
have a
"Does anyone
Costco
have a
card?"
Costco
Oh,
card?"
Casey, I didn't answer you, but yes, I do have one if you need it.
Oh, you bet.
It was so funny because like I was kind of in and out of that, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what the hell is he doing?" Wait,
Yeah, I
hang
know
on.
exactly what
I was like,
he's
"They have one."
Because I almost did it for Sam's Club. I sat there and I was just like, "Yeah, it's not
Where's
worth
there
it."
a Sam's Club around?
I don't know,
us?
but they had. They
Oh,
probably
I went
ship 'em.
to PC Richard and Son. That's the local
God.
electronics chain here in the tri-state area. That's fun. That was a hoot.
The friggin' like Circuit City, like lower than.
Oh.
Like
How'd you do,
discounts
Casey?
and
Did you get one?
I didn't get one. No, I did not.
Damn it.
But I got close several times, and all I did was feel like Nick Fury, where he's just like, "You have made me very desperate."
So Stealth Killer in the chat is saying in the UK it was a strict one PS5 per order per house. Like I wonder how they would.
That's what it is on all
shipping.
these websites. You have limit one.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but
You
like,
could just open up another Google person though, not like another tab or incognito window.
Yeah.
Just a different user, and then that would be it. Like you'd be good.
If you have the ability to manage 2 users to try and get 2 PS5s, good on you, because I can't even get one just pretending to be me. I mean, not pretending to be me.
Just be yourself.
Just being,
why are
Just
you
be
pretending to
yourself.
be you?
I don't know. Something stolen credit cards.
By the way, if anyone's wondering, I just kind of opened up eBay real quick. Right now, the top listing that I can see for buying a new disc version of the PlayStation 5,
$1,200.
$1,900.
I knew it. I
That's
knew it.
$9.99.
These
That
price
is-
gougers are
That is
insane.
the highest. Granted, most of them seem to be around the
$1,000.
1,000 to 1,300 kind of area, but that is insane.
I always wonder who these people are, because I think they're used to reselling down different avenues, because when you have like stuff like Comic-Con, right, you have people who buy those tickets and then they resell them for like a crazy amount of money. It's just like people going to cons like have money, but they don't have that kind of money. It's like, what are you used to reselling, like cars, like stolen Mercedes,
You know
or
what
something
it
like
is?
that? And
It's-
the same thing with like these consoles. You're just like, oh, like I saw one up for even more than that. I think I put it in the chat, maybe like 17K or something like that. There was somebody in New York who she bought a PS5, and then she's like, hey, like I'm willing to resell it for 1,000. I'm not going lower than that. Hit me up. We can meet somewhere. And people were just like, you are garbage. You are human garbage for buying this thing and then trying to sell it back for like, what are you doing? Do you have 2? Is that the only one you have? And now you're going to resell it? Like, what?
You know what
piece
it
of
is,
garbage?
Serge? It's this, like a lot of the sneakerheads are like this too, right?
Yeah.
Like they buy up those Yeezys and Jordans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's
And they'll sell them on
that's limited
StockX.
edition. That I understand. A lot
Yeah,
of times,
well,
with
kind
sneaker
of.
guys, or even
Yeah.
like when Nintendo was putting out all those limited edition 3DSs, like the Majora's Mask one and the one that looked like a Super Nintendo, like limited edition console series, like that's the kind of thing I can understand there being a resale market for.
True.
But this is launch vanilla PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
This is within 2 weeks. They're gonna have a whole nother wave of like version 1.1 of the hardware for a holiday release.
Even the Xboxes they're going through this upsale thing right now too. Like, but both consoles are being hit right now with this.
I mean, I personally don't understand buying an Xbox already as a PC user.
Which leads us to a question in chat. Which of these next gen consoles do you think is better, Xbox or PS5?
PS5. It's not. This is
So-
barely a debate.
So here's the funny thing that I also find is hilarious about this whole thing, because I did not try very hard to get one of these, and part of that is there's only like 8 games that are available at launch for PS5, right? And I mean Xbox is pretty similar as well. So while you're getting it for the future, like most of these games, like we're not really seeing many other things released before the end of the year. For these consoles as well. So like good on you if you got one, but like I'm not going to die on this hill to play Miles Morales when I can probably just play it on PS4, and then eventually if I get a PS5, if I really feel like it, I can migrate over to it.
Well, I'm getting this as soon as possible so I can play Godfall.
and Chris, that's the good thing about what some of these developers are doing. Like PlayStation on their official blog said, if you do get Spider-Man Miles Morales on PS4, they're going to give you an easy avenue to upgrade to the PS5 edition, which I think is awesome.
That is
And
really
you could
cool.
get Peter Parker with a new face.
Well, we already talked about this, is that it's weird, and again, there's so many different versions of it. If you get the digital version of PS4, you also get of Miles Morales. You also get the PS5 version at no extra cost, unless you are looking for the definitive or like the extended edition, whatever that comes with the remaster of the original Spider-Man. In which case, that only comes with the PS5 version. That's at a markup of I think $70. So that's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally think that being a PC guy, I think having having a PlayStation is better than buying yourself an Xbox, because okay, think about it. You buy an Xbox Series One X, right, for $500 or something like that. I don't know, just put that in your pocket, spend a little bit more, get yourself like a PC. Even if you have like a pre-built one for $500, okay, you start getting parts over time. You don't need like a high-end PC to play all like today's games and stuff. They're still optimized so you can play them on kind of last generation parts. But PlayStation and Sony really goes after developers for exclusives. And I think they have a lot more exclusives coming down the line, and even ones like they've already teased, like the new God of War. You got your Spider-Man, the Naughty Dog games like
Horizon,
Uncharted and stuff like Horizon. Meanwhile, Xbox is like, we have Halo, somewhat, Master Chief. We have Monkey.
We've got Monkey.
we have Monkey, and it's just like, okay. And what else do you have that's exclusive? Gears of War.
But also, these a lot of these developers as well, especially Xbox, are supporting the previous generation hardware for the foreseeable future as well. So even these games that you can get for Xbox Series X, they're not exclusive to that console because there is a previous generation version of them as well. And while Sony is doing a similar thing for now, we saw the same thing with between the PS3 and the PS4 jump as well, where a lot of games were coming out on both. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and I think in regards to in the live chat, Dig PV, Elder Scrolls maybe. Well, it's interesting because now that Microsoft owns Bethesda really hasn't said, and Microsoft hasn't said anything about exclusivity, so we don't know. If Elder Scrolls is just going to be on Xbox. I think they should, just to be like, here's our freaking exclusive. All Bethesda games like Elder Scrolls. Boom. Get yourself an Xbox.
So they did announce that whatever deals were in place, they're going to honor. So games that were announced, and Elder Scrolls was announced, was it a year or two ago that then it popped up? So if they had a deal in place to release it on Sony, like that would still hold. The question is, the games that are being developed now that they are under the Microsoft banner. So we probably have a generation or so where there will be cross-platform games that they're releasing, but that remains to be seen. Like what games that is, because I don't know if they've announced what I don't think they've announced what Elder Scrolls is going to be on.
No, they only announced like there's one coming up because they knew that the crowd was hungry for it, and like that's it. They didn't say anything else.
Papa Todd, don't make me buy an Xbox for Fallout 5.
But so here's the thing though, is and I already told Dig this in chat, is it's going to most likely also be on PC because Microsoft, while they are pushing the Series X and the Series S, they're also pushing their subscription service, right?
Yeah.
Their Game Pass. So if they make something for Xbox and not PC, they're just shooting themselves in the foot at that point. Because I feel like there's a lot of gamers out there who not only have a PlayStation, but also have a PC. And that's why people are just like, Xbox, what a joke. Look, it can smoke. That's about it.
Hey, that's a pretty cool console if it's smoking, huh?
That console is the vibe.
It's hot.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so like you think about it that way, where even like we all have PCs, including Chris now.
I know.
Hey,
I'm gonna talk about it later.
Hey,
I'm gonna talk about it. It's gonna be great.
But yeah, so like we can all just play the exclusives on PC. Remember the time where you couldn't do that? Remember, it was only now 2 generations ago. The Xbox 360, it was like, oh, geez, do I want to play Halo or do I want to play Uncharted? Right? That was like a big thing. You had to kind of go with an either or. But now it's like, well, I can do both and I don't need an Xbox. So PlayStation is the way, I guess. Because I don't think anyone looked at the new Halo. And I know we talked about this at length, but no one looked at the new Halo and goes, I need that right now.
Yeah, no one will be like, I need to buy an Xbox. No one. Yeah. Absolutely no one.
Absolutely no one.
Yeah, but when it came to some of the PS5 stuff, they're like, ooh, that Miles Morales looks good. Ooh, this new God of War coming out. Ooh, what else? Naughty Dog might be doing something. Ooh, what the hell? And it's just like, boom. And also, it looks like a futuristic skyscraper.
You guys know that all those PlayStations are modeled after skyscrapers, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, so this is just going to be a future one. This one's going up soon, I bet.
I'm just going to have to knock out the middle shelf at my entertainment center and just like put it there. That's what I'm going to have to do. Or wall mount the TV. I have to rearrange my setup just to fit this goddamn thing.
Just for the
in my
You
living
got to
room
put in
or
a new
my game
beam
room.
in your house.
That's awesome.
You set it up and the house just collapses under the weight.
I'm gonna have to get an
PS5.
addition onto my house just to fit this goddamn thing in here. It's
Listen, we
crazy.
just got to knock down this one wall real quick, just extend it out a couple
But
more
it-
feet.
and then it's load bearing.
Oh, that's rough.
That's a little HGTV humor for everyone out there. You're welcome.
Hi, this is Michael Dolce, host of the Rogue Wave podcast. If you like comics, movies, TV, pop culture, and want inside access to the creators behind it, then you've come to the right place. Join us every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, streaming live on Facebook.com/RogueWavePodcast and Twitch.tv/RogueWavePodcast. New episodes available on all major podcasting apps immediately following the live stream. Rogue Wave Podcast, the frequency for all things pop culture and the disruptors behind it.
And we're back. So the
Hey.
other things that were going on this week that are getting pretty crazy, we stream here on Twitch. And as such, we have to follow certain guidelines and rules, and certain rules that haven't really been enforced until now, but things are happening with the Twitch DMCApocalypse. So for those who don't know, just like on YouTube or any other avenue, if you don't have license to music, and this is music in particular, obviously, the music industry has a right to strike you down because they are more powerful than any of us. But Twitch really hasn't enforced that until now. So a lot of big content creators are getting hit with DMCA copyright strikes and infringement and all this stuff. And some of it is really crazy. Like you have one of the top Twitch streamers. His name is Jake and Bake. And what he does is he's an IRL streamer. So he goes around in real life, like usually in Asia. He goes around in real life and he just shows you, certain things. And he got hit with a copyright strike, DMCA, from the record industry because he walked past a shop that was playing a Kanye song. And they're like, hey, on this stream 2 years ago, in this clip, Kanye song played, and we are issuing a strike against you. And you can dispute it by blah, 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 blah. And he's like, what? This is insane. Are you kidding me? He's like, so he wasn't even like playing it on his stream to enhance his stream, as a lot of streamers do. You know, they play stuff before, they'll play stuff during, nothing really transformative, which the music industry is in their right because you're not really transforming their product, you're just using it to enhance. So obviously, but yeah, you walk past your shop and then boom, there it is. Chris, do you want to go into what Twitch was telling everybody?
Yeah, so we've been kind of talking about this a little bit as kind of since COVID at the beginning. All of a sudden, this was going down. Lots of people are getting strikes. A lot of people are getting content taken down left and right. And Twitch finally released a blog post, actually just yesterday, talking about what's been going on. So up until this point, like Serge said, they haven't really been super hard on cracking down on people using copyrighted material. And so right now, because there's been a lot more focus on Twitch, it seems like all these record labels and things are actually starting to pay attention. And actually in the Twitch terms and conditions, it's kind of interesting that they are saying that the strikes that people are getting aren't coming from Twitch themselves, but actually from these lawyers that are claiming that it's a DMCA breach. So a lot of times when we're talking about using music, you usually use you hear the term thrown around, fair use, about sampling and using pieces of music. And the tough thing here is that a lot of those laws are so subjective. It's kind of crazy. Like in some cases, if there is something that is in the background, like an accidental hit, like you accidentally catch that while you're out and about, versus you using that music like in your stream as that primary content. So what they're saying is, hey, this is happening because it sounds like Twitch is getting their feet held to the fire in some of these cases, and they're banning people based off of DMCA issues or other lawyers that are cracking down on that, not necessarily because of Twitch themselves are saying that there's a strike. So this is kind of tough because it's been retroactive. So we were talking about this offline before, about how it's difficult because Twitch is, in the terms and conditions, they are saying they're not liable for the stuff that you put on your stream, but they also aren't really giving the tools to appropriately enforce them. Like, what do you guys think that, I guess I know I have my own opinions, but I want to hear from the rest of you of where do you stand on this? Do we think that it's right that the music industry is kind of looking for their fair shake of it, or do you think it's too harsh of a punishment that we're seeing?
I'm very much on the side of the streamers, obviously, being one, but I can see where the music industry is kind of coming from, and the record labels like, I want some of that, because someone like us, like if we play a song, we're counting one stream for them off of Spotify, right? And we get maybe between like, let's say just for argument's sake, between 10 and a couple hundred people, depending on the day, right? So then that's 10 to a couple hundred less streams that they're getting. But then you have someone that's huge, like let's say you have someone that does like a couple grand pretty easy, like Devin Nash, and he does it, right? So then all of a sudden that's a much larger number. Then you have someone that goes even further up there, let's say like Lyric. That's even more viewers right there that they're not getting. So it's like, yeah, like you're playing Kanye for like in the background just as like vibe music or whatever for 1,000 people. That's starting to add up. Now, what I think the larger conversation is what's Twitch doing to help their streamers, which is right now
nothing.
Right now,
Yeah.
the sage-like advice that is just don't play music.
Just don't play it for his smile.
Just turn the
Yeah.
sound off. Just play the game with no sound.
And like so there are things where I can understand it, right? Where if you are sitting there playing in the background top 40, yes, you should not be doing that. You should not be doing that. That's like just not right. Like that's just common sense, right? It's not your content. You don't have permission to do it. Don't do it. But then we start getting into the realm of games. We start getting into the realm of, let's say, the hit new music game Fuser. If you legitimately wanted to play Fuser, you would most likely get a DMCA strike. I don't know what they've done over there with like the rights for that, but it's been happening to Rock Band. It's been happening to Just Dance streamers. Like it's just now there might be some special rules to say, oh, you just can't make a VOD, you can't just do clips or whatever. I don't know, but it's like this is part of the game. This is the game's experience. So these laws have to be updated for sure. Like they were probably made in the 80s for all we know.
Wasn't
like
it a Digital Millennium Copyright Act or something?
yeah, but it could have been
Which would imply that it was
forward dated.
Yeah, there's a couple big ones in the 90s, and then there was a few more in the early 2000s, especially with the advent of things like LimeWire and Napster.
Yeah.
Metallica.
So it's all, what's crazy is that this is a new phenomenon that we're seeing here, because if you buy a game, what you're doing, you're paying for a license to that art and everything that comes with it, right? You're paying for the music, you're paying for the visuals, that brand, for you to actually play that game in the comfort of your own home. So up until the popularity of streaming, these games were really meant for you to enjoy on your own. And I would compare this to the movie industry. When you watch a movie, one of the first things that you see is that FBI warning that says you can watch this in your own home, but you're not allowed to watch it, on a giant screen. You can't just take a DVD, throw it in, and like charge your neighbors to watch it on a big screen. Doesn't work that way because it's public, and you've only paid for a private license. Every movie theater has to pay to be able to show a license to be able to show those movies as well. And this is kind of the same thing. You take something that was meant to be you just sitting at home playing it yourself, but now you're broadcasting it out where anyone can watch it. So it's so new. I don't think we know what to do with it quite yet. And it's the same thing with streaming music as well. Things like Spotify. There's been tons of stuff about like Spotify and iTunes, things like that. So it's new. It's difficult because we are talking about what is the value of art. Someone actually does count on being paid for anytime someone uses that art.
Sure.
That's it. But The question is, who's at fault here? While it's the individual user that probably should do that, I don't think that Twitch has provided enough avenues to police or even remind people that, hey, you got to watch out, not just what you visibly show, but also the audio that you use as well.
I mean, it's insane. I mean, at least when this happened to YouTube, you usually go, they're like, we need to get our act together and kind of like cover our own ass, YouTube, and cover the content creators' ass. And obviously, at first, it wasn't perfect, but over time, they did something about it. Twitch is just like, couldn't be bothered. And anytime someone has reached out being like, okay, why weren't there steps taken to kind of circumvent this? And then Twitch never really gives you a good response. And now all they're saying is that, well, we're going to release a blog post that gives you somewhat of an answer. And it's all just a bunch of gobbledygook to being like, well, there's no best practice right now. We're kind of working on it, but not really. There's no real answer for you content creators, but the rest of you are already started to get yeeted, and the rest of you are going to get yeeted. And in the live chat here on Twitch, I mean, some people are agreeing because, you know, I feel bad for streamers that have to delete 3+ years of VODs just to work around this. Yeah. And it sucks too, because a lot of that stuff like isn't on YouTube, because some people just live on Twitch. It's just their platform. But now they're migrating over to YouTube just to kind of circumvent this thing. And it's insane because even like Wave Chappelle says in the live chat, you know, playing Beat Saber on mute, playing some of these other games on mute. I mean, you know, I added CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk to see, because they put out a tweet a while ago saying that Cyberpunk 2077 has original music that they made just for the game. And when people asked, well, are we going to get copyright striked if we do stream this game and we play the music? Because they have like well-known artists like Run the Jewels. I mean, like, you know, they're a part of you know, part of the music organization as well. So are we going to be copyright striked when their track comes up? Is it going to be a part of the main story where we can't turn it off? You know what I mean?
Right.
Are they going to have tracks just when you get into the vehicles? You know, because like, you know, GTA like live streamers obviously can turn off the radio when you hop into a car in Grand Theft Auto. But in a game like Cyberpunk, where it's an RPG and sometimes music will enhance the gameplay, I assume they're going to have like their own soundtracks playing. So Cyberpunk.
Hold on a second, because every experience you have in a video game is enhanced by the music.
Well, yes, there's that, but also Johnny Silverhand is in a band, so like it's going to be probably one of the main characters, if not the main side character, right? And he's in a band. What are you going to do? Just mute it every time he's on there singing?
Right?
So there's the other thing about this as well is we've seen kind of two different ways that people have received consequences. One of which is just a simple, hey, we've deleted your backlog of things. The other one, some people are getting threats or just getting straight up banned for some of these infringements, which is ridiculous, because if you have just been notified that you have something that infringes on this, you haven't been given the chance to rectify that. In again, the terms and conditions of Twitch, you do have the option to provide a counter notification, either A, providing proof that you have removed those parts of the videos yourself, or B, saying like that it's, hey, it was a mistake, I actually have permission to use this music.
Yeah.
So
it's insane.
Extremely paranoid, right? Well, it made me extremely paranoid. But the other day when I was streaming, I was playing Watch Dogs, and it had like some popular music in there. I forget what it was exactly, but within minutes, I had a bot in my chat that was DMCA bot 5, and I'm like,
no,
what is this? And I'm like, okay. And like everybody was just like, get the F out of here, DMCA bot, we hate you, blah blah blah. And I had a paranoia. I just went in and just removed the VOD like right away as soon as I could.
So a lot of people know this as well. If you listen to any of the other popular podcast talk shows and stuff that's on Twitch, there are rumors circulating and maybe proof that there are capabilities being made or have already been made or being implemented to live strike someone within 3 seconds of playing a song.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is
insane.
Absurd. That is where I'm kind of like, I get less in the point of view of the record label, because it's like, all right, going through the VODs, that's one thing, right? That's like not disruptive to the content being made, because in actuality, a stream can go anywhere from 1 to 24 hours. And if you play a Kanye West song in there, I'm just picking that out because Jake and Big, that is what, 3 minutes if you play the whole song of a 24-hour stream. There's also
Right.
at some point where you're like, it's not about the song, right? Or even like you're walking by, or you're it's in a game that like is on for like 15 seconds. 15 seconds of a 24-hour stream should not be a strike. What's also very interesting is the strikes do not go away; they are permanent.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
YouTube has like a way that you can kind of like get around it. You can, I upload all of my VODs to YouTube afterwards. I just use the automated process, by the way, that is built in by Twitch. And YouTube will be like, oh, hey, you have this song in there. And I'll be like, cool, what do you want me to do? They go, you can mute it, or you can just cut out the segment. I go, just cut out the segment. Who cares? Whatever. That's fine. It's not like that much. It's like 5 seconds. Does
So-
Twitch have this capability? No.
No,
They say
not-
delete
nothing.
your VODs. They say delete your VODs.
All
And
or nothing.
Also, the delete's not permanent, not real.
Yeah, because apparently to Twitch has everything saved on their servers, which is another
Public
thing that came out.
server.
Yeah.
that someone can access.
So if you think about a Twitch streamer like deleting something, a piece of content or something like that, like out of their own, like necessity, like like let's say like a female streamer was out somewhere IRLing and for whatever reason like something happened and she goes, oh, I need to delete that because like sometimes things happen. Like I've seen certain live streamers, even Jacob Beck himself, where he's just like, oh crap, I was changing out of my trunks and I kind of flashed my butt. I gotta delete that. I gotta delete that real quick. So that's living somewhere where it can be accessed, because you had other Twitch streamers who have like brought it up, like, oh, here's like a clip from like 2016 that I deleted, but it's still living, and apparently that's still being tracked to be DMCA. If there's music and stuff in there, it's insane. What's happening?
So I guess what does this mean going forward? Twitch needs to kind of figure out that it's going to treat itself like a network, right? So what's happening here is people are using this platform to broadcast their content, but it's the internet, so we're treating it like it's the wild, wild west, right? Wiki, wow, wow. And
Damn it.
so we need to have...
That's a DMCA strike right there.
Oh, my bad.
Oh my God!
So like in this moment, you
So
killed
close.
That's it. We can't use this video anymore.
That's what we're
Just got raided and you killed it.
So they need to figure out. They need to figure this out. I mean, it's just like think of it like a torrent site, right? Like torrent sites get shut down. They can't control who's put. Like anyone can put kind of like anything up on a torrent site, but a lot of those sites have been taken down now because they're providing a platform that can do so. So there is a bit of responsibility for the person that provides the highway to do this.
Yeah, but they're
And the
also
other
like Hydra, where it's like, cut off one head, two more shall take its place.
Yeah, I
real.
mean, with the current terms and conditions, they are kind of trying to wipe their hands clean of this, but that's really not enough. There needs to be some sort of regulation, some sort of path, whether it's every time you go live, you get an email reminding you or a notification or something along those lines. The other side of this is that the reality is this is how a lot of people are making a living, streaming video games. So developers that are they're actually selling games and doing things like that, they need to realize that your game could be streamed publicly. And I think someone mentioned something in chat, and I had seen this before, that they're talking about how streamers should pay a licensing fee to be able to stream the game. That's where that comes from. But I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility. You are using this content that you paid for private use, and now you're showing it publicly. So it's the same thing with, again, LimeWire and Napster, things like that. The music industry had to pivot and do things like Spotify and iTunes, where they can control how that music is being distributed instead of just anyone downloading whatever they want. It's very new. I mean, think of how long Twitch has been around, just the last few years. Music industry's been around for almost 100 years, but like at this point where they've standardized these things. There's got to be an awareness of one industry over the other and figure out how is this going to work so that people can use this platform the way that they want to.
Yeah, and one of the last things that Lord Zach pointed out in chat, and I didn't even think of this, and it's really insane. He was saying
crazy.
someone says you can be streaming, then you open someone's Twitch page. So it's kind of normal to, if you're about to end your stream, you either want to host or raid someone, right? So while you're streaming, you pull up like your friend's channel or your associate's channel or someone that you really like follow. But what happens is, if you're not maybe sub to that person, but you still support that person, like a pre-roll ad will run before their stream turns on. and those pre-roll ads will have music in them. So I didn't even think about you ending your stream, or for whatever reason you're checking out your friend, because sometimes people do that. Yo, yeah, let's see what Greg's doing. I pull up Greg's stream, and then boom, I hit with a pre-roll ad that has music on it, and now I'm DMCA'd because of Twitch playing. That's insane.
Right.
What is this human centipede?
Stay the hell out of my channel, nerd.
Well, but here's the thing about that, though, is that with that advertisement, the advertisement, like, they've paid for to license that music, and if it's Twitch that's actually the one that is playing that, I mean,
no,
it's a tough,
because they'll still hit your channel just the way they hit Jake.
Because
like, hey,
these bots aren't going to go through and be like, oh, that's an ad.
No,
you're going to be like, no, this is.
They just hear the waveform.
This is in the arms of the angel. And it's you're getting DMCA'd.
Sarah McLaughlin.
Damn you, Sarah McLaughlin.
So now we're at this.
Don't sing it.
Casey, this is DMCA. What we're just talking about for the last 20.
Wait,
that's
I
the
thought
second
wait, hold
strike.
on.
You
I
cannot
thought it.
sing it. You cannot hum it.
Yeah, you really can't.
You can't do anything.
But you know what we can do? We could fix it in post.
And this VOD is now useless. Thank you, Casey.
Damn it, Casey.
We shouted over it enough, I think. Maybe.
So,
It wasn't 4 seconds. We're in the clear.
So here's
Not a
where
thing.
we're at, right?
Not a thing.
We could talk about this literally for the rest of the podcast, but we do have other subjects that we want to talk about. What happens next? Now, as I see it, either the gaming music genre on Twitch just goes away.
Oh, it's donezo.
That's one, right? Number two, Twitch steps up, which they won't, because there's no financial reason for them to do so, because Amazon owns Twitch, and this is like Amazon's probably least profitable nut right
The
now.
redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just got it somehow. They're like, whatever, it's fine. It gives them like pocket change every once in a while, right? Like drinking money is what it gives them every once in a while. So they do something, they try to step it up, they give the tools, things like that. More artists come out, independent artists come out, and that are not attached to any record labels, and they just say, yeah, use my music, which is not super good for them other than the fact they get great cred. And I know like artists like Harris Heller, who has just been getting all of this music out there via Stream Beats, and just is like, yeah, use it for your podcast, use it for whatever. I'm not going to DMCA strike you. Like, you're good to go. That more of that stuff's going to happen, which I think if I could make music, I would be making a song a day. I don't care if it's trash. It would not be mastered well. All you guys would hate me, but I would just put it out there.
Yeah, all of you music nerds out there, like make your beats, make your music.
Yeah, make the beats, make them available for streams. Honestly, like, even if you're like, oh, I don't know about like my mastering skills or anything like that,
Just
like
do it.
for whatever reason,
Make
it doesn't.
8-bit sounding stuff.
Do you
Who
think
cares?
it can tell a difference? No, I assure you, I cannot. And it'll be in the background, and it'll just be like pennies in your pocket every once in a while that just will add up over time. It's just the way this is going to go. Or the games that come out that know that they're going to have a large stream following, they maybe just stop using music, like real world music like that. That's what's good. And it just costs them money. So they're like, well, if, you know, we have this whole like GTA 5, there's huge RPing community for that, right? And yeah, they can just like take off, like you just turn off the music and that's fine. But Rockstar could also just be like, no, I think we're just not going to pay you $1 million to use the song. We're just not going to use it. We're just going to probably use some DMCA free stuff or like whatever, royalty free, and we're good to go. I think this is honestly the age of royalty free that we're entering.
Yeah.
And I know like we're super users, right, for Twitch. So like our opinion is a little skewed, and there are many more people out there who are not in the Twitch sphere who game and do all this stuff. But like this is still a pretty sizable community or sizable like site.
Why doesn't Amazon do you know how they do like the music version of the watching parties, right? Like you can watch a TV show, you could watch, I think, is it only because it's from like Amazon Studios? Like,
so I did one of those recently. I did it on the Friday before Halloween. I did it on the 30th, and we watched Silent Hill. So everyone has to be subscribed to Prime who watches it.
Oh,
Period.
Yeah.
You have to have Prime Video, and it is region specific. So
Okay.
I threw on Silent Hill because it's Halloween, right? I was like, all right, let's watch some spooky game movies. Let's do it. Let's go, guys. And then I felt bad. Lord Zach Morris shows up. He goes, I can't watch anything. Bye. And I was like,
Get
that's
rolled,
right.
get rolled,
That's
nerd.
right.
Get absolutely
So-
dumpstered.
So you'd have to be subscribed to Amazon Music then in order to do that, but they would have
wouldn't
to.
even do that.
They couldn't
though, I
even
bet.
touch it. Yeah, they wouldn't even try to touch
Yep.
it.
Yeah, because also like the music industry, I feel like is much different than the movie industry in terms
Right.
of all of this stuff. I just have that. I don't have any like facts to justify that other than just like what I hear from Twitter and what I hear just from people talking about all this DMCA stuff. Because like honestly, like yeah, if we're doing a trailer review, we'll get hit every once in a while. But I feel like now with all of this Twitch stuff going on, music industry is getting a lot more strict and a lot more aggressive, especially with banning you within 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's crazy,
Right.
especially going through a server that has all these videos that you thought you deleted because you were told you have to delete that, so you did, and now that's not even good enough. At some point, I think the moral of the story is at some point Twitch has to focus on their user experience, not just their money-making experience.
Yeah.
Right.
And speaking of things that aren't good enough, Marvel's Avengers game.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh boy.
Casey, you want to talk about it?
Listen, I was ready to hop in and play this game. You know, we got a little. I got a little sample taste watching you play it originally, when the beta was out, Serge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this seems perfectly serviceable. I mean, the mission-based gameplay is like a little odd, and the huge focus on like forming a party and whatever, it's not really my speed, since I'd much rather play a one-player Avengers game, especially one that's supposed to be, you know, as cinematic as it was. Their player base has dropped 96% of what it was after the first
Wow.
month.
That's a big hurt.
Big
launching.
yikes.
Yeah.
Woof.
And I mean, this game has gotten like mixed reviews, but like not bad, right?
It hasn't gotten bad reviews. It's been very lukewarm to I like it kind of reviews.
Yeah.
And I think that's the
It's
worst
okay.
thing you can say about a game, right?
Yeah.
Because here's what's going to
You're
happen. Like,
basic.
think about any piece of media that you consume, right? If someone goes, "This is terrible," you're going to go, "I want to try that to see how terrible it is." If someone goes, "This is amazing," I want to try that to see how amazing this is. If someone goes, "Yeah, it was fine," you'd be like, "All right, cool," and you just kind of walk away, right? Like that's pretty
Yeah.
much how that goes. So, yeah, I mean, the game was fine. That's the best you can say about it. It was kind of boring. Like I'm playing the Hulk and I don't want to smash anything because it's boring.
Oh, you mean Hulk, where most of your moves are rock throwing based?
Yeah.
What an odd choice.
Yeah.
While
and
you're in
it
the
also-
middle of a metal, like
You're just pulling rocks out of the ground.
Yeah, and he also felt like so underpowered. Like you're going up against these like nameless agents, and you're the Hulk, and you got to punch them like 10 times just for them to go. I'm like, what is this? Like, who made this game? And I think like one thing that
Square Enix.
really did not didn't help them was the likeness of the characters, because like we came off of a high from Endgame and the end
Yeah.
of like, you know, this phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then this game was being made with, you know, understandably on the side of like, okay, they can't get all these actors to make this game. Obviously not. It costs way too much money, and they can't get them because you got to spend a lot of time in the booth, like doing voice acting, doing mocap, like all this crap. They can't just do that with the actors. It'd be way too expensive. It'd be insane. But I think the likeness, it works against it because, you know, you're coming off of Endgame, and then you see this game, and you're just like, who are these people? Like, who
Yeah.
like, that's not Captain America. Like, who is this fool? Like, what?
Black Widow, what happened to your face?
Yeah, she's like, who is these fugly, the weird alternate dimension looking people? And those are the Avengers, okay. And then the story's not really that interesting, and like it just in playing like the alpha and the beta, and then just playing it some more when it came out. It's so like I shouldn't be bored playing an Avengers game. It's
Instead of
Avengers.
Iron Man, you're playing Iron Guy.
You know?
And you're
just Iron Dude.
a Captain Amerigo instead.
metal, sir.
Arachnaman.
Metal Sir, the Norseman.
Yeah, it's like when you're a kid, your mom buys you like those like knockoff toys, or like your uncle gives you a present. It's like, hey, you like green muscle dude, right?
You get to play as Gumby
Green
Girl.
Roid Rage Man.
Yeah, it doesn't even say Hulk. It's just like some like green like man looking toy. It's all plastic and it's
Your-
all
the
like,
Your
Undoubtable
boss
Hulk.
fights are all QuickTime events. It's like, what's the point? It's barely a game.
Yeah, and
It,
I,
it wants
that
to be a
Squeenix.
movie, but with game elements, and I'm like, that's not good enough. Fucking pick a
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, all they had to do was just copy what happened before. That's it. Period.
Yeah.
Like we had so many Avengers adjacent games. Just like literally take that, put it in your game. I don't care if it's copy and pasting. Just copy off the smart kid.
The Lego version of this game is a lot better.
I know.
yeah,
believe
yeah.
that.
The
I'm
Lego
dead
version
serious.
of
Oh,
this
man.
is crazy. Lego Avengers 2 has the whole huge ass storyline with Kang the Conqueror, and you travel to all different like parallel Earths, and like your main hub world is a bunch of Earths that are just smushed together. That's
Yeah.
wild.
Nice.
That's way more interesting than just it's San Francisco. Like, all right.
People are comparing this to the Anthem release, where a lot of people gave up on that game, and apparently they're still planning on releasing a major overhaul to that
Yeah.
game to maybe bring it back. But no one's
turns
getting their hopes up.
Turns out nobody likes playing as Iron Man.
Yeah, now that's the friggin'. That's the Iron Man flying that everyone really wanted.
I mean, at least with Anthem, it was a better Iron Man game than playing as Iron Man in this game. Like,
where you're
it's
railroaded real hard.
Yeah, like it's insane. I mean, with a game that's titled Marvel's Avengers, you would think it'd be good, but like I think they just didn't have the right people involved in making the game, because like to me, I was just bored. I didn't care about the story. There was a whole section I was playing as the Hulk, Bruce Banner, hulking out. Like you play as Bruce Banner, you're walking with Kamala Khan through a forest to find some like whatever. I wasn't paying attention, and we're walking through the forest. You hulk out, and then you're fighting these unnamed enemies. All these like
You're
nameless
fighting
robotic soldiers.
a bunch of AIM guys.
Yeah,
And they're
I'm-
robots.
and I'm just like, here's a rock power, and I'm punching them, and like they're smaller and tinier than me, but I gotta hit them 10 times for them to die. This is dumb. And then Kamala Khan's like, "Whoop, whoop, things are happening, whoa," and I'm like, this is so stupid. It's so dumb. Oh man, but yeah.
I was playing the beta, right? And I think we talked about this a little while ago. And I died, and it was just like, oh, remember, if you're the Hulk, you can do this. And I was just like, or I could do this, and I just turned off my system and went on with my life.
The only way to
And
win is not to play.
It wasn't even like a rage thing at all. I was just like, this is just not fun. There's not enough for me to go. There's not enough challenge for me to go back and be like, okay, cool. I just have to like rock through this guy, pick up this guy, whatever. No, it's just like
It's
boring.
grind the video game.
And my
Yeah.
fingers were getting sore, which like never happens on
My
games. And I was like,
fingers
this
hurt.
is
I've got a cramp in my
Like,
Hulk
I don't know how they've made my buttons feel like worse, but they did.
Perhaps
I-
you were
software.
smashing them.
I heard, I don't know if this is true, but in the shareholders call, they had to like explain why this like major Marvel's Avengers game wasn't doing well. And it was just like, because all the shareholders were just like, wait, why isn't this thing doing well? It's a big title. It's called Marvel's Avengers. It's got all the stuff. Like, why is it doing
All the
so bad? And apparently,
out-of-touch
like they kind of had to
suits.
like, it's doing bad because where's the piece of paper? Well, they had to like come up with a reason to be like, people just don't like it. Not enough people are
One,
playing
we
it.
couldn't license their face. Two, it's tired. Three, bad.
Honestly, though, if this game was fun, I could get over like the stunt double looks.
Yes.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like I could easily get over it. It just wasn't fun. And they also spared no expense with the voice actors too. They got top-notch voice actors in this.
Yeah.
And so they spent money, and it's just not enough. It just goes to show you can spend as much time on the story, on the graphics, on the voice acting, on everything. But if the gameplay isn't there, you're not going to have a success.
Yeah, in the live chat, Zach is saying just make it like Dark Souls, but with Avengers.
I don't know about that, though. I think,
Yeah.
honestly, that what they needed to do is get the Hulk Ultimate Destruction, copy God of War,
Yes.
copy Anthem, copy Tomb Raider. It was Crystal Dynamics. They did the Tomb Raider reboots.
I think
That's
they just
all
need
they
to
had
not
to
make
do.
it hyper realistic. I think if they made it more stylized, they
No,
probably would have done better.
I like that when they're not in their like costume, or when they're not in
In the
out of their
Bizarro
costumes.
costumes.
Right. Well, like I do like the visual look of it. I will
Yeah.
say that. Like Hulk, like Grizzly Adams Hulk is really cool in my opinion. But like,
That's
It's
exactly what I
just-
look like with my shirt off, by the way.
yeah, it's true. True story.
Green body paint.
Yeah.
Wait,
Green and just dying.
but like, yeah. So like, I think they started going the right direction. They just didn't polish it up on the gameplay end, and that's where they went wrong. ultimately.
Yeah, I think so. All right, everyone, that's it for this segment. We will go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're talking about what everyone's been playing and even talk about some free games that are coming out this week. And we're back. Wasn't it a wonderful advertisement for whatever you guys
It
saw
was so
and
good.
heard?
I just bought that.
That
by
sure
the way.
was the thing.
God,
Casey, I'm buying you 3.
Imagine it's
Good
a PS5
news. It's a
ad.
PlayStation.
Crap.
The PlayStation
That way you can
3.
sell 2.
All right, so let's talk about what everyone's been playing this week. Starting off with Chris.
Guys, I built my first PC this past weekend.
weekend.
Yeah.
It's-
So you playing Minecraft?
You know it, non-stop.
Are you playing
Nice.
Fortnite?
You know, I gave up. You know, I can't even joke about liking fork knife. Fork knife.
Fork knife.
Fork
Fork
yeah,
knife.
nailed
You
it.
did
So
it.
good.
That's it.
First try.
Yeah, but I did it. I was, talking about doing it, and then I finally just did it, and it works. And I was astonished. And let me tell you, as a guy who's been using Macs for the better part of a decade, actually over a decade now at this point, doing the install, not a fan. Not a fan at all. I did this once, and I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
Welcome to PC Live.
Yeah, well, the problem was that the ISO I downloaded and created a booter for didn't have any of the the generic drivers because it was meant to be an upgrade on something that already had it. So then I had to grab my father-in-law's like slow as hell PC. It took 2.5 hours to build the install disk the right way. But once it did that, it actually had all the drivers in there. I was able to install it after approximately 5 hours of me wanting to throw the computer out the window. But magically, it turned on. And so I've been basically playing all the games that I like, the free games I've been redeeming off of Epic. A couple of things that I've gotten through like Humble Bundles on Steam. And I've just been like a kid in a candy store being like, ooh, let me try this for a little bit. Ooh, let me try this for a bit.
So you're going to play Rust with me or what?
Dude, I'm thinking about it. Maybe.
Do it.
Maybe I'll do it with you.
He's like,
the
one
game-
of us, Wooga Chaka. Wooga.
The first night that I had it, I actually, because I've been really dying to play that Phasmophobia game, which I started playing through the tutorial. But then once I did it, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and my wife was already asleep, and they were asking me to speak into a microphone, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So I had to stop there. But the game was creepy, and lights were turning on and off, and the door was closing on its own, and it was fun. So that's cool. So anyways, more PC gaming to come from this guy. Very excited.
Nice.
And the other thing that I tried is I started Destiny 2 Beyond Light. So I'm very excited to jump back in Destiny because I'm like, I want to play the campaign and I like shooting things. But this game, it jumps when you drops you in, your light level is 1050, except the very first mission, the recommended level is 1060. Which, all right, whatever, like 10 light levels, not that big a deal. Then the second mission, it bumps up to the recommended light level is 1070, but you haven't done anything yet. So I was still only like 1053 by the time I started that, and I just got wrecked.
Damn.
So I need to do a little bit of grinding before I continue this campaign because I don't want to be horrifically underleveled. Anyways, that's what I've been playing. Casey, what have you been playing?
Well, listen, I talked this game up the past couple of weeks in a row, but I finally got down to playing No More Heroes 1 and 2 on my Switch in anticipation for the third one that's coming out sometime in the future. I only say that because I don't remember the actual release date that they gave. But it's my first time playing these games in over 10 years, and let me tell you something. They can get tough as nails. I love me a hard game. Overcoming a challenge in video games is one of the greatest experiences I feel when I play these games. And this is great because I used to cry as a child when I couldn't beat them. But now I'm a grown man.
And he still cries.
I do not.
As a grown man. When he can't beat him.
I might have cried a couple of times trying to beat the final boss of No More Heroes 2 because he cheats and he's got a lot of one-hit kill moves and it's not okay.
Does he cheat, or you just need to get better at the game?
Yeah, are you
know,
just bad,
if
or
you
does he cheat?
If you played the game, you could tell me what you think. But
Okay, so you're bad.
no, he
That's what I'm
cheats.
hearing.
I actually ran through the game twice each. I played it on normal and then I played it on hard. As always, getting my 100% completion bonus. Those games are a blast. Narratively, I think they're fun. Gameplay-wise, it's a beat 'em up where you play as an otaku with a lightsaber. just an absolute fun time. And I think there are still only $15 on the eShop, so you've really got no excuse to pick them up, especially if you've never played them before.
Adam in chat just said he beat them with no issues, so it does sound like it's a year.
Even the second one?
Even the second
Oh,
one.
come on.
He said, "Get rolled, nerd. Get absolutely dumpster."
I'll
Dunked
feel this
on
one
you.
for you, Adam. Especially the second
Jasper
one.
Bett Jr. is a son of a bloop.
Oh man, Jay, what have you been playing?
A little game called Rust, who just who just announced drops on Twitch. So if you're watching, you can get some loot for in-game cosmetics, which is really cool. I think you have to watch for like a total of 3 hours, and you get all 3 items. I don't know if that's like consecutive or not, but it was pretty cool. You get some purple underwear and a purple hat with some headphones. It kind of looks like the PUBG Twitch loot that you could get way back when PUBG first came out. But beyond that, I actually started playing successfully Watch Dogs 2 because I got that for free and I wanted to play that before I get into Legion. And that is when the game started and there was some copyrighted music, and that's when I started getting paranoid because the DMCA bot came in and paid me a nice little visit. So I was like, "Hey, how are you? It's nice to meet you. Please leave." But I found that Watch Dogs was pretty fun. It's very GTA like, except instead of punching somebody in the mouth to steal their wallet, you just do it with your phone. You don't punch them in the mouth with your phone, by the way. You just kind of steal it because you're a hacker. So that was cool, but I'm probably just going to go back to playing Rust for the rest of my life and be unhappy.
Serge, what are you playing?
Glad you asked. So I've been all up in Ghost of Tsushima's multiplayer. Just been really, really enjoying that, and I've been playing with a buddy. Like I haven't talked to you in a while, and he was like, "Oh hey, you're on. I saw you come live on PlayStation. What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, Ghost of Tsushima multi." He's like, "Dude, I love it. Let's play." So we started playing and talking with each other. But it's so good. So for those who don't know, and you should, Ghost of Tsushima released a multiplayer in which you have a story mode, a survival mode, and now a raid. And you have all of these. You have like these different loadouts you can do with each character. So you have a hunter, you got your regular heavy, your melee character, you got your nuker, you got your healer. And it's just a lot of fun, like gearing and specking out. And each week when there's an update, there's like a slight changes to like your abilities and slight changes to what works, what doesn't. So you can kind of always like change things up. And I've been having a lot of fun playing the multiplayer, just even like carrying people through like survival mode, the nightmare mode, and it's and for a free update that you didn't pay for, it feels like a product that you should have paid
It's
for.
really good, yeah.
But speaking of fun, Greg, what have you been playing?
So, two things. One, I played way too much Ghost of Tsushima co-op, and now I'm sick of it. I OD'd on it completely. I did just today get to play and stream a little game called Project Winter.
Yeah.
So if any Among Us fans are out there and are playing on PC, this is a game I highly, highly recommend. It's definitely one of those. You have the two imposters or two traitors, and the group tries to do their tasks. Your job as the traitor is to kill the people or stop them from doing what they can do. The people have to get the hell out of this snowy wasteland, essentially. Now it's called yeah, I'm pretty sure it takes place in Canada. What's interesting about it is it has voice chat, unlike Among Us, which doesn't have built-in voice chat, and it's proximity. So you can only hear things that are around you, including other players. Now you can get walkie-talkies and stuff like that, and you can kind of talk over distances, but you really have to kind of pay attention to your surroundings because you can get killed by either bears, wolves, hunger, the cold, or who you thought were friends. It was a lot of fun. I was fortunate enough to get invited to play for a good couple hours today, and I'm going to play it again. Definitely, I recommend playing the tutorial, unlike me, who I just loaded in and be like, this will be fine. I've played Among Us. And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, what is going on? What are the buttons? What is everything here? Just like quickly Googling things while like I take a quick like BRB break. Be like, what is this? At the end of the day, it's worth the investment. I thought it was. I think it's like 23 or 24 right now, including the DLC,
sweet.
Which isn't too bad. It was just a blast, so I do highly recommend that.
Nice. Yeah, that's what we've been. Everyone's been playing. Before we end the show, we have some free stuff that is coming out this week or in the future on PlayStation Plus. We got Hollow Knight, very good game, a lot of fun. It's a nice little spooky platformer. If you haven't played it, it's free right now. It's good. Everyone else has played it. Like,
it's very good. It's
highly
very
recommend it.
difficult.
Yeah,
Casey shouldn't play it. He'll cry.
Also on PlayStation Plus, Middle Earth: Shadow of War. That was also a good game too, in my opinion. I had a lot of fun with it. And Bugsnax coming out as well.
Yeah, that's interesting that they threw on a PS5 launch title for free. But if you look at the PS4 track record, they also did that with I can't remember if it was it wasn't Octodad. It was that Shadow Noir lady platformer.
Oh
game
yeah,
that I never played. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, that's exactly what it's called.
Also, PlayStation. You can redeem this all on PlayStation's updated site and mobile app for the PS5. Things are looking a little snazzier, working a little nicer.
For Bugsnax, make sure you press the more information button on the website,
Yes,
and you can redeem it.
I struggled, but I figured it out.
We got there. That's all that matters.
Confirmed. I struggled.
Yeah. Also on the Epic Store, we got the Textursis, and coming up soon next week, Elite Dangerous. Also,
I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, you had a lot of fun playing it PAX East.
I didn't play Elite Dangerous. I played.
Wasn't it Elite Dangerous?
No, it was Everspace 2.
Oh, never mind. Anyway.
Elite Dangerous looks really cool. It does have a pretty decent RP community too, which I'd be interested. I just want to kind of go in there and just be like, "Hello, can anyone hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me?" And just have an excuse to use that.
Recreate gravity.
Yes. Oh no.
Greg is just Sandra Bullock flying
flying
through space.
I mean, it's better being Sandra Bullock than George. Was it George Clooney?
It was George Clooney.
Yeah.
Just better Sandra than George in that movie.
Yeah.
And then imaginary George Clooney.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of imaginary, that's all the time we have for today. That was a segue. Thank you everyone who tuned in live. Thank you for the follows, for the new subscribers. Thank you to everyone who's been listening on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on Apple Podcasts, everywhere you listen to a podcast, going on youtube.com/Rogue Matter and watching our VODs there, as well as here on Twitch. We do this every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk about the video game industry. For this episode, I am Becky DeFunky. We've had Booster Greg on, J-Smack, TV's Casey, and Chris. We will see you guys later, or we will see you another time.